we have the National Commissioner of the Department of Correctional Services, Mr. Makgothi Samuel Thobakgale. He will take us through the statement, and when he's done, we'll then open the floor for questions. At this moment, I would like to invite the National Commissioner to take us through the statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ngumalo, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today's media briefing forms part of the department's ongoing commitment to transparency, accountability, and public confidence in the correctional system. The briefing focuses on two critical matters. Firstly, we present the outcomes of the 2025-2026 festive season security operations, commonly referred to as Operation Vala. Secondly, we outline the findings of investigations into serious security-related incidents that occurred at 3 correctional centers in the Western Cape region during the calendar year 2025. On the first aspect, the festive season security operations, over many years, Correctional Services has implemented Operation Vala, joined by the South African Police Service, as a targeted festive season security intervention, commencing on the 1st of December and concluding in the month of January the following year. The operation is designed to strengthen safety and security within correctional centers during a period characterized by increased movement, heightened visitations, elevated risks of contraband smuggling, and escapes. In addition to the above, Operation Vala extends to the monitoring and tracing of parolees joined by municipal police departments and SAPS. This multi-agency approach underscores a coordinated and integrated effort within the Justice, Crime Prevention and Security cluster. While Operation Vala has consistently delivered positive results in ensuring safe and secure facilities, Correctional Services recognized that in certain respects, the operation had become routine and resource intensive. This necessitated a renewed approach aimed at increasing impact, effectiveness, and accountability. As a result, the 2025-2026 Operation Vala represented a decisive shift in intensity, coordination, and management oversight. For the first time, the operation was assertively driven at management area level, supported by heightened senior management involvement and expanded deployment of officials. This decentralized but coordinated approach enabled more frequent intelligence-driven and comprehensive searches, significantly strengthening operational outcomes across the system. During the 25-2026 festive season, security operations, a total of 5,592 searches were conducted across correctional centers nationwide. Such operations required repeated and sustained deployments. As a result, officials responsible for security participated in multiple operations over the period. Consequently, these operations cumulatively involved 59,310 correctional officials, reflecting same members being deployed in multiple security operations. This is underscored by us noting staff shortages that we continue to experience as the department. The Gauteng and Western Cape regions recorded the highest operational activity, jointly accounting for 56% of all searches conducted nationally. The department is encouraged by these outcomes, which demonstrate an enhanced institutional capacity to intercept and remove illicit items that threaten safety, security, and also stability within correctional centers. On escapes, no escapes were recorded during Operation Vala from the 1st of December 2025 to the month of January 2026. On confiscation of illegal items, the intensified searches yielded significant results, underscoring the scale of attempted smuggling and effectiveness of the department's interventions. On cell phones, a total of 8,063 cell phones were confiscated nationwide. Gauteng emerged as the primary hotspot, accounting for 2,321 seized devices, highlighting the persistent challenge of mobile phone smuggling within correctional centers. On sharpened objects, a sum of 3,144 sharpened objects were removed from facilities. The Eastern Cape and the Free State, Northern Cape regions recorded the highest volumes of seized sharpened objects, indicating elevated security risks in these regions. On drugs, more than 46 kilograms of loose dagga were seized, in addition to the thousands of dagga slopes and blades. The Limpopo, Mpumalanga and Northwest region, as well as KwaZulu-Natal, contributed the largest share of the bulk of drug seizures. Significant quantities of Menrex tablets were also confiscated, particularly in the Western Cape. Just to mention the number 1,012 tablets, and Free State and Northern Cape 199 tablets, pointing to organized smuggling networks in both regions. On cash and currency, a total of 102,726 rands were confiscated. Gauteng is the highest with 37,193 rands, and the Eastern Cape follows with 28,379 rands. Small quantities of foreign currency were seized, along with 400 counterfeit South African notes in the Free State and Northern Cape region. Notably, while Western Cape conducted the highest number of searches, it yielded low cash recoveries compared to regions such as the Eastern Cape. This disparity highlights differing patterns of illicit activity, including cashless illegal operations, and reinforces the importance of intelligence-driven searches focusing on the Western Cape. Operation Vala was implemented under conditions of significant systemic strain. During the festive season, the inmate population exceeded 739,000, far surpassing the department's approved capacity of approximately 107,67 beds. This level of incarceration represents the highest population recorded in recent years and has placed immense pressure on infrastructure, staffing, security management, budget, and it's also compounded by reduced court activity during the festive season. Although Operation Vala officially concluded in the month of January 2026, the department has not relaxed in its security posture. The operation has demonstrated improved capability at management area level, and this capacity is being maintained and strengthened as part of ongoing year-round security operations aimed at creating safer, contraband-free correctional environments. This work is coordinated through the National Operations Center, which serves as the central nerve center of the correctional system in South Africa. The NOC is responsible for real-time collation and analysis of operational information and reports from correctional centers across the country. It maintains continuous engagements with centers and coordinates operational responses to security incidents and threats. On the second aspect, the findings on investigations conducted on security incidents in the Western Cape. DCS has concluded comprehensive investigations into serious incidents that occurred in the Western Cape during the year 2025. These investigations were conducted in terms of the Correctional Services Act 111 of 1998 with objectives of establishing facts, determining accountability, restoring public confidence, and ensuring appropriate and corrective disciplinary action is taken in instances where this is required. The first investigation was on Oudtshoorn Correctional Center. It relates to the stabbing of 4 correctional officials and the subsequent unnatural death of an offender, Simpiwe Celise. on the 7th of August 2025. This was a DCS-led operation joined by SAPS on August 2025 following intelligence on contraband proliferation. This operation was a search operation. During the execution of the search operation, a number of offenders actively resisted lawful instructions, barricaded themselves inside certain cells, and displayed increasingly volatile and aggressive behavior. These actions led to heightened tensions within the unit, resulting in several altercations between officials and offenders. And it also necessitated the use of force to restore order. On the morning of the 7th of August 2025, during the routine unlock, a group of inmates launched a coordinated and vicious attack on correctional officials, during which 4 officials were stabbed. The investigation established that offender Simphiwe Celise played a leading role in the attack on correctional officials. Celise subsequently died following physical altercations with officials, and his death was classified as unnatural. The investigation also found that this situation could have been mitigated had management anticipated the strong likelihood of retaliation given the overt warning signs displayed by inmates on the previous day during the search operation of the 6th of August. It further established that management at both area and center levels failed to exercise effective command and control during the operation. There was inadequate risk assessment, insufficient coordination of operational responses, and a lack of decisive leadership to stabilize the unit once the initial search had concluded. Serious failures were identified, including non-compliance with the use of force prescripts, unprocedural reporting, and systematic breakdowns in oversight. Disciplinary action will be instituted against implicated officials, managers, and medical personnel, while offenders involved in the stabbing will also face disciplinary processes. The second investigation was on Erena's release at Polsmo Remand Detention Facility. This concerned the release of an inmate, Tembaletu Inganati Daba, in September 2025. The investigation established that this was not an administrative error, but a deliberate escape facilitated by impersonation and operational failures. Inmate Daba posed as another inmate scheduled for court, bypassed identification procedures, misrepresented himself before the magistrate, and was released on warning. The incident was detected only during a routine roll call. He was rearrested 12 days later. The investigation identified failures in inmate supervision, advanced availability of course lists, and management oversight, including the functionality of biometric systems. Criminal and disciplinary processes are underway alongside corrective measures to prevent a recurrence of such a security incident. The third investigation focused on stabbing of officials and deaths of remand detainees at Polsmo Correctional Facility or Management Area. It focused on the stabbing of 2 correctional officials and the subsequent deaths of 3 remand detainees on the 29th of October 2025. The incident followed an unauthorized departure of several officials from a specific unit, resulting in a serious breach of security controls. The investigation established that 3 inmates who are now deceased initiated an attack on 2 officials who acted in self-defense. However, it further found that some of the officials who responded to the incident applied force outside the prescripts. The investigation also identified significant shortcomings in risk assessment processes, gang management protocols, and the supervision of inmates. Disciplinary action is being instituted against implicated officials as well as supervisory and security management for dereliction of duty. Corrective measures include reclassification of inmates, strengthening gang management, and tighter controls on inmate labor. We are also paying special attention to stabilizing the Western Cape region as the department. The investigation outcomes as outlined, along with the deployment to stabilize Pollsmoor Remand Detention Facility, were carried out under an intervention authorized by the Office of the National Commissioner in consultation with the Ministry. The resulting recommendation and stabilization measures underscore the continued need for sustained intervention in the Western Cape region. Given the spate of incidents and the prevailing instability in the Western Cape, as the National Commissioner, I have recommended to the Minister that criminal and disciplinary matters be administered independent and external to the Western Cape region. The nature of these incidents, combined with the province's high levels of crime, gangsterism, and the alleged orchestration of criminal activity within our correctional centers, necessitates the implementation of extraordinary measures. These matters have been made public because they directly affect public safety, human rights, staff security, and the integrity of the correctional system. Transparency is essential to maintain public trust and demonstrate accountability. The department will institute disciplinary proceedings against implicated senior managers and officials. We will also address systematic weaknesses and ensure that correctional centers are managed in a lawful, ethical, and professional manner. We wish to extend our sincere gratitude to the Ministry for its continued leadership and guidance. We also acknowledge and commend the JCPS cluster for consistently fulfilling its mandate, providing effective and coordinated services that upholds safety and security of our communities. I also want to thank the investigators that worked on the investigation reports that we have received, and also thank the officials that we deployed at the Pollsmoor Remand Correctional Facility for stabilizing that facility up to this point. These officials are going to withdraw from the month of February, and they will continue with other interventions as indicated in these statements. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, National Commissioner, for that statement. Ladies and gentlemen, I will then open the floor for the Q&A. I think we're familiar to the routine where I think by raising your hand, you introduce yourself and media house that you represent. Depending on the numbers, we'll then decide how many rounds we'll take. But let me open the floor. Do we have any takers? Okay. 1. So you are number 1, you are number 2, you are number 3. Yeah. So in that order.
Thank you so much. My name is Makgothi from UFM and Newsload. Commissioner, I'm curious when you refer to officials having used force beyond the prescript. So I want to understand just how much force because you were mentioning that a group of inmates had actually charged at staff, as you put it, as to whether when officials are being stabbed, aren't they allowed to go all the way, especially considering that they are not just being attacked by anybody but convicted criminals. And secondly, the two transfers of what one could say are famous prisoners, Thabo Bester and Mr. Vala. What necessitated their relocation to KwaZulu-Natal? And I'm asking this question precisely because the two individuals are appearing in court here in Gauteng. It sounds as if this will naturally bring in some kind of logistical challenges to correctional services or whoever has the responsibility of taking them to court. And finally, please try to give us an idea of what is it that I'm aware that Hosi Mampuru, the prisoners there, have been able to produce pretty much everything. When did this start? What capacity does the prison have, the prisons have in general, but necessarily when did this start? Because now it's a political issue. There seems to be a promo going around to say a certain minister, and I appreciate that. I don't want to pit you against your principal, but just to have an idea of as to when did correctional services started putting these inmates to work for their own for products that they consume themselves. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, long-winded one, but it's fine. Number two.
Good morning. It's Alpha Ramushwana here from Eyewitness News. I'll piggyback on Carol's question with regards to the two supposed famous inmates. I want to understand the rationale of moving someone who's still on trial to Ebongwe. Kat Matala's lawyers mentioned that it has been difficult consulting Kat Matala, saying that there's a thick glass wall in between them and they can barely hear each other during these consultations. What's the rationale of moving someone to that prison while they're still in court? That's number one. Number two, when Kat Matala was supposed to appear in Parliament, there were concerns of transporting him to Cape Town. Now, do you not fear that if he's in Ebongwe and he has to be, taken to Pretoria or Gauteng for his case, does that not cause another security or safety concern? And then you mentioned that in terms of capacity, there were about 170,000 inmates over the festive season, and the capacity is just over 107,000. Right now, do you have an idea of how many inmates you have at your correctional services facilities across the country? Thanks.
Thank you. And number three.
Covered by my colleagues in terms of the other inmates, but I wanted to understand what kind of analysis has been done in terms of how this contraband is going in. Have you identified what these loopholes actually are? I mean, to have more than 8,000 phones and foreign currency, what exactly is the issue? Is it corrupt officials? What exactly has your analysis showed you in terms of how this contraband is getting into the prisons, and how many wardens have been identified for disciplinary hearings, and how many have been fired?
Okay, thank you. Let me just check online to have any questions or not.
No questions.
Okay, no questions. I think the Commissioner will respond now, but I think so that the issues don't overlap. I think Commissioner will firstly deal with the matters of the briefing, the two, and then after that deal with the two inmates to a transfer to a Ebongwe. Okay, thank you. National Commissioner, over to you.
Thank you for the questions. Section 32 of the Correctional Services Act dictates that the use of force should only be applicable when it's necessary. It should be reasonable. It should also be proportionate to the threat or the attack that a member would be facing. And the use of force is only deployed when all other means have failed. And it is deployed in self-defense or defending others, or thwarting any other risks, including escapes. So when the reports are indicating that the use of force was applied outside the prescripts, it basically means that it's the use of force that was not complying with Section 32 of the Correctional Services Act. And that's why the outcomes then point to unnatural deaths, meaning that these are deaths that were caused by unnatural means. And that's why we opened criminal cases, and we also ensured that the members that are or were involved in these activities face disciplinary processes. Now, with regards to the numbers in correctional services, as it stands, we are still above 170,000. We have been managing a system that continues to grow steadily on a week-by-week basis. In as much as the courts are reopened now, and we are seeing movements in terms of those that will be released by the courts, the growth in the system continues. The numbers continues to increase. And this reflects the effectiveness of the JCPS cluster, in the main, the police, prosecutions, and the courts in attending to crime. But it continues to put more weight on the correctional system in terms of the population that we continue to manage. So we are more than 150% overcrowded in almost all our facilities. There is no facility in this country that is managing overcrowding that is less than 50%. Well, on the issue of contrabands making their way into correctional facilities, I need to first start by underscoring the point that we use detection processes to stop some of these contrabands from making it into correctional facilities. So the figures that we've given today include contrabands that were stopped before they could get into a correctional facility. For instance, you have contrabands that are brought in by members of the public who visits. Every weekend we have visits for sentenced offenders. Every day the remand detainees receive visits. That is a risk. We also have our own members that smuggle. But also, for these contrabands to be detected and to be stopped, we need to employ or deploy equipment that is high-tech and can be able to detect. We are continuing to roll out this equipment, very expensive, but at the moment we do not have the financial capacity to have this equipment in each and every correctional facility. Hence, we are relying on our own members to detect and stop these contrabands from making it into our correctional facilities. The officials that are involved or that are found to have aided and abetted this type of illegal activity, they get disciplined, and most of them actually get fired for participating in these illegal activities. Now, on the matter of transfers, on a daily basis, we conduct risk assessments. We also assess threats that have to do with the system. We also assess threats and risks that has to do with each and every inmate that we accommodate in a correctional facility. This analysis becomes part of a security plan that each and every correctional facility develops on a daily basis. The transfers of inmate Ket Matlala and Thabo Bester were informed by this security and threat analysis. I will not go into the details of such information. It is with good reason for also the safety of both inmates, apart, of course, from ensuring that the safety and security in the correctional system is not undermined by any activity that is associated with both inmates. The transfers are administered on a daily basis. Let me give an example. Yesterday, there is an inmate that was transferred from the Eastern Cape to Epongweni after being reclassified from medium to high security because of activities criminal associated with the same inmate that were detected. So for us to be able to prevent crime from continuing to happen, including threats and risks that are associated with those that are in our facilities, we have to act, and we have to act promptly. So that is what we are doing, and we are open to engage, for instance, in the case of inmate Ket Matlala. We are open to engaging his lawyers on consultations. We are open to engaging with the National Prosecution Authority on how do we work together to ensure that, and also the courts, to ensure that he makes it in court on time, and that we have been able, that obligation we've been able to meet. He was in court last week, he was there on time. He was able to consult with his lawyers. The primary objective is for us to ensure that at the end of the day, he is still available to appear in court. If we do not exercise our responsibilities as a security department, something else will obtain. And that's why we are implementing these security measures to ensure that, as I want to repeat again, he is available to attend to court proceedings as required. Okay, thank you.
Just finalize this.
There was a question on the number of officials that have been taken through disciplinary processes with regards to the smuggling of contrabands. Thus far, we have administered 312 cases. 266 were finalized with those officials being disciplined. I indicated that some of them were actually dismissed. And we are still administering 30 cases, and we will get results as we continue. These are independent processes that we do not, as a department, interfere with. Thank you.
Okay, this is the last round, if perhaps there is still interest. So there's only one hand. Online, there's still nothing. Okay, so you're number 1, you are number 2, you are number 3. Okay, be number 4. Let me check online, still nothing?
No questions online.
Okay, thank you. So in that particular sequence then.
Thank you, Commissioner. Student Thobakgale from ESTA. Just lastly, on your point that you said you are willing to engage on these awaiting trial prisoners at Epongweni who have cases in Gauteng, DCS is likely to face court action to force the department to have them transferred back to Gauteng. What contingencies then will DCS have in place? Because you don't want to go into detail as to what these threat analysis reports indicated. What contingency plans then will DCS have if it is forced to bring them back to Gauteng?
Okay, nice try. Number 2. Oh, you are covered. Number 3. Yewoba.
My name is Calvin Duka.
Please switch on your mic.
Sorry, my name is Calvin Duka from SABC News. I just wanted to check with the Commissioner because I hear when he speaks about threat analysis and all of that, but I just wanted to double check if it is true true that Ket Matala was found with a cell phone inside his cell. Is that one of the reasons why he was transferred to Ebongweni? And that we had reports that at Zonderwater Correctional Center there was an inmate who tried to commit suicide. If the commissioner is aware of that.
Okay, number 4.
Yeah, back to the question of contraband. Is it not, I hear the commissioner refers to disciplinary measures. Is it not a crime, even for me as a civilian, trying to smuggle things into correctional facilities? And my other question was not answered. I would request for some indulgence, one-on-one possibly after that. Thank you.
We'll definitely check on that one-on-one, but I think the Commissioner responded to all those questions. Maybe if you can maybe share some light, just briefly, which question is that?
The one about offenders being put to labor. There seems to be a debate in the country as to when it started, and it's lending itself to politics.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine. I think now, yeah, we get you. Okay. Okay, the National Commissioner will respond. Thank you.
The case of an inmate from Zonderwater Correctional Facility who attempted suicide. It's a case that is precocious in the sense that this is an inmate that is actually a mental health patient. You will recognize that in correctional facilities, we also have inmates that are mental health care inmates. These are inmates that in the ordinary are not supposed to be in correctional facilities. They're supposed to be in the healthcare facilities. But as it stands, we try by all means, after we would have processed their conditions through the courts, to ensure that the Department of Health accepts them in mental health care facilities. But in the meantime, we ensure that we provide primary health care and heightened security supervision to these inmates. So this inmate attempted suicide by overdosing on medication that he was supposed to utilize to manage his condition. But we were able to get the situation under control, and the inmate is in good health as it stands. The issue of contrabands being smuggled into correctional facilities, that being a crime or not, it is a crime. That's why members of the community, as I indicated, that sometimes during visitations, members of the community try to smuggle contrabands into correctional facilities. We detect, we catch them, we open cases, and they join the offender population that we have in correctional facilities. The officials that also involve themselves in the smuggling of contrabands, we report them to the police, we open cases, they get arrested, and they join the offender population. So we have always been making a call to members of the public, including also our own officials, that they should desist from partaking in activities that are linked to smuggling contrabands into correctional facilities. Because, as I've indicated, it leads to no other outcome but one outcome of ending up being an inmate in a correctional facility, and it increases our population. On the contingency plans with regards to safety and security of offenders that are transferred to Ebongweni and them being able to attend to court cases, I have indicated before that we are more than equal to the task as the department with regards to ensuring that they are transported safely or they are availed safely to the courts. And this we do not do on our own. We do it with the support, the assistance, working together with the Justice Crime Prevention Cluster departments. So these are operations that are managed with precision. And as I've indicated, our duty is to ensure that these inmates present themselves before the courts as required. The issue of Ket Matlala, the inmate being found with a cell phone, that was reported last year already. It is not part of the current security considerations around him. If you remember well, he was at a super maximum facility in Kgosimampur. The security and threat analysis that we have made indicated that we needed to heighten security around him. That's why he was then transferred to eBhongweni. And I have indicated that it is for the sake of his safety and also for the sake of the safety of other inmates, and also for ensuring that he does present himself to the courts as required. We are having conversations, as I've indicated, with his lawyers, the National Prosecuting Authority. Before the 6th of February, we will come to an outcome with regards to these conversations. If these conversations ends up with any of the parties approaching the courts, as the department, we will also make our own representation before the courts on these matters. But what is important is that we are ensuring that we act within the Constitution, we are ensuring that we act within the prescripts of the Correctional Services Act in discharging our responsibilities. Now, on the issue of self-sufficiency and sustainability, the Correctional Services Act enjoins us to manage and administer correctional facilities within business principles. Now, what that means is that we need to ensure that the resources that are availed to us and the endowments that the department has, for instance, we have farms, we have steel, we have textile and wood workshops, we have arts and crafts facilities. We utilize those facilities to generate revenue. These are activities that have been there over the years. In the year 2021, the department introduced the self-sufficiency and sustainability strategy. The strategy was still implementing it, even today. As we are here now, there are offenders that are working in the farms. There are offenders that are working in these workshops or these enterprises that I have referred to. There are offenders that are attending school, and there are offenders that are also spending their time attending to higher education and further education courses. This is an activity that is directly linked to rehabilitation and correctional programs. Now, this term of government, the Government of National Unity term, through Minister Groenewald, also continued to emphasize the importance of self-sufficiency and sustainability. It is a priority for the Government of National Unity. It is a priority for the department. It is a priority for the minister. And that's why we continue to emphasize that inmates or offenders on a daily basis should work and contribute to their upkeep so that the system doesn't depend solely on budget allocations by National Treasury. So this activity has got nothing to do with sentiments that are political or otherwise out there. It has everything to do with ensuring that we fulfill our mandate as a department in line with the Correctional Services Act, but we also ensure that offenders contribute to their upkeep. The food that they eat on a daily basis also or should come from the work that they do in our farms. The uniform they wear should come out of the work that they do in our textile workshops. The base that they sleep on should come out of the work that they do in our steel workshops. That's basically the principle. And we will continue to do that work because, as I've indicated, it contributes to the rehabilitation and correctional programs. And we provide these inmates with skills. We train them so that when they now get to be part of the community under the parole system, when they are now being reintegrated into the society, they have skills, they have experience that they can utilize against temptations of going back to the life of crime. The skills and the experience that they can utilize to contribute to growth and development in their local communities. I've made an example of arts and crafts. We have parolees that are currently living off selling their paintings and works of arts and craft. We have arts and craft exhibition centers in 42 management areas in this country, where members of the public can simply walk in and buy. And through this, we are sustaining the good behavior that is required from those that would have had trouble with the law, those that would have found themselves in correctional facilities. This is the only way that we can sustain our efforts towards crime prevention. Thank you.
Thank you, National Commissioner. I can confirm the uniform I'm wearing is from our wheat bank workshop. So indeed, you are at work. I hope you are satisfied now, sir. We've come to the end of our media briefing. I know that our colleagues have requested one-on-one, so we'll take them after this. Once again, thank you very much.